Welcome to yet another show with the fifth umpire. And today we are going to talk about the review of the ODI series between India and Sri Lanka. India lost an ODI series to Sri Lanka after 27 years since 1997. That was then. I have Utsav with me. Utsav, welcome to the show after a long, long time. But we have to discuss about this one. India losing a series to Sri Lanka, and that too you can say 2-0 without getting a single victory on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, India losing a series to Sri Lanka just doesn't sound really well. Uh, meaning no disrespect to the Sri Lankan team. They played very, very well. The new bunch of boys that Sri Lanka has brought in,
Yeah,
they have just it just feels like there is a sense of patriotism, which the way Afghanistan plays with pride for their country. I think something similar could be seen in these young boys as well, and great captaincy, I would say. Just kept the Sri Lankan team on their feet. A lot of changes in the Indian team. Yeah, a bit of experimentation. I think the Indian team is allowed to lose at times. If we are celebrating the victories, then I think we should also
yeah,
embrace the losses.
absolutely.
Uh, yeah, but there is a lot to think about and talk about after this series.
Absolutely. There's a lot to think about. You credited the captaincy of Charita Sri Lanka. I think a little bit of more credit should also go to Sana Jayasuriya, the way he has regrouped his players as well, because they were all and out. They lost the T20 series under the leadership of Surya Kumar Yadav, and we expected the same to be in the ODI series. But the way fought back, I think it all started from the tied game in the first game. We'll talk about this one now, Utsav. And this is the series result which came in us from match one. We had the game right in our hands. Shivam Dubey got out, and the next ball, Arshdeep Singh tried to play a glory shot first ball, and the match out of nowhere ended up being a tie. Talk us through that game. Was Shivam Dubey responsible to finish off the game?
Yes, I think he was because if Arshdeep Siraj and Shivam Dube are batting, then I think Shivam Dube should have taken the stand to win it. Even though he played a really good innings, the conditions weren't ideal. But yeah, a loss is a loss, I think. But still, even Arshdeep could have handled the situation with a little more responsibility. But I think we should not talk about the tied game because that was again Indians have this tendency of losing the first match of the series and making a comeback. So yeah, that is what we had expected in the next two matches, but that did not happen. One thing that is similar in all three matches is that we were chasing in all three
Yeah,
in all
the
matches.
result of the toss mattered, to be
Yeah,
honest, in this
right.
kind of a surface.
Yeah, it was heavily toss biased, and Premadasa it turns a lot under lights, and Sri Lankan spinners just ate us up. That is what happened.
Absolutely, that is absolutely true. But I would still want to come back to the tied game, Utsa, because that gave the Sri Lankans a belief, because it was a tied game for us, but it was something like a winning moment for the Sri Lankan side, gave them the belief. They fought back hard in the second and third ODI and came out victorious. But the template, what different template are you seeing from what we had a month or two ago from Rahul Dravid to now from Gautam Gambhir? Six matches, three T20s, three ODIs. What is the template you're seeing? I know he always goes for not milestones, not strike rates, keep attacking. Are we seeing a little bit of too attacking from batters?
Yeah, I think yes, a little bit too aggressive. But the one change that looks very significant is the number of all rounders that are coming in.
Yeah,
Earlier in the Rahul Dravid era, we would have pure batters and pure bowlers, and this time Gautam
correct.
Gambhir has more emphasis on the all rounders. Not necessarily the bad thing, but I think they are a little too inexperienced. Even after being inexperienced, Washington Sundar, Akshar Patel, and Riyan Parag did a really good job. Shivam Dube
Yeah,
also at times did a really good job, but I guess the pure batters only could not play spin very well this time.
correct.
Obviously I'm talking about Virat and Iyer and Rahul.
Yeah, absolutely. That proved to be costly in the second and the third games, especially because when we talk about chases, we talk about the chase master, but he got trapped to spin three times, and all the three times he was LBW, all the three times it looked plumb, and all the three times he took reviews. So is that
Yeah.
also something he needs to be responsible for? Especially yesterday's one and also the first ODI, it looked dead plumb, but he still
Yeah.
opted for a review. So what could be the reason behind? And also I can understand from the non-striker's point of view, you simply cannot deny Virat Kohli. But Him being
Yeah.
such a senior pro and such an experienced guy, he should know that how important reviews are, because you just have to. Maybe Shivam Dubey's one could have been overturned. Maybe Kuldeep Yadav's one was also not out. But I know, not to disrespect Kuldeep Yadav pulling up 100 runs, but still, those crunch moments matter. So, how much do you think these things needs to be taken account?
I think it just shows that Virat is a little desperate for his runs at the moment, which is all right because runs haven't come really ever since the T20 World Cup. Even the T20 World Cup was not good up
Yeah,
until the finals. So he is looking for that one innings that will just bring him up. And I think he was maybe thinking that Sri Lanka could have been the place where he could get 70, 80 odd or a century and just get back into
some of them were
his
saying
scoring.
it to couple of hundreds on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, if India would have batted first, maybe yes. But yeah, under lights, I think the conditions were a little too difficult to bat on. Even 200, 220 was just seemed like a mountain to climb. And you were talking about Sri Lanka winning, finding its winning ways. I mean, even in the T20 series, they had the game in their hands every single time, but they collapsed. So Sri Lanka had the confidence and the motivation to, they knew that the win is just somewhere there and they need to just hang
Yeah,
on and just win moments. And that is what they have done. Coming back to Virat Kohli, I mean, it is fairly obvious that when the conditions are so difficult to bat on, I think Virat has put a price tag on his wicket. Not to say that he wasn't desperate, he looked pretty desperate. Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, I think the sense of responsibility that a player needs to take while thinking of taking a DRS, I think still
correct.
needs to be questioned because it is like the batters always take it as a chance that maybe it miss the stumps, and I think that is what happened with Virat. I think the third ODI, Virat thought that there might be a nick, but when he saw the replay, he got to know that it is very plumb, and he just left the ground before the ball
Absolutely. There
touched.
was a huge gap between bat and ball. So these
Yeah.
things should be known to experienced players, and that's the reason why. So don't you think if Akshar Patel was the one who at the non-strikers end, don't you think what would have been on his mind when he was having a chat with Virat Kohli that you look plumb, don't go for the review, and he was convinced again?
Yeah, I think nobody says that don't take a referral when Virat Kohli is batting. Yeah, I think Virat needs to take things on his own hand. That yeah, maybe it is very close, and I should not take a referral because yeah, the second ODI one was a little like close, but the first and the third one looked pretty plumb. And
Absolutely. And if you, and
yeah,
sorry to interrupt, but if you look into all the three ODIs as an overall, it was just Rohit Sharma giving you starts, and the rest 10 players couldn't get going. So was Rohit
absolutely.
batting in a different surface, or was it the hard new ball that was just helping him to play his strokes? What was different from Rohit's innings compared to the other 10 people?
Yeah, definitely it was the hard ball that he capitalized on the new ball, the power play restrictions, and attacked the bowlers when the spinners weren't there. And I think even he faced little problems when in the third ODI the spinner came in during the power play.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think taking nothing away from Rohit Sharma, he played extremely well. But after the power play ended, he found it difficult as well to play the spinners. So the conditions were so difficult to bat on that even when Virat was batting, I was pretty convinced that I don't think that this mammoth target was going to be chased, mammoth target of 240 in these conditions
yeah,
because the way the ball was reacting after when the spinners were in, it just felt very difficult to play.
absolutely. Even I felt because 250, the way at the end Kushal Mendes and coming to Mendes were batting, I was like, okay, this game is going past 230, then 240, and those stuffs happen. Rishabh Pant's stumping decision.
Yeah.
Firstly, I'll come to firstly his mistake. Was he really overconfident? Was it carelessness? And secondly, in the replay, if you look into, I was still convinced it was out. I think once the batter, it was Tikshana. Once he dragged the bat, it was on the line, and then he got it up, and then he put it. In that moment, Rishabh took off the bails. I was convinced that it was out. But at the end of the day, it was not out. Where Punch should have taken off the bails early. What was that? What was it really overconfidence? Because I know it's Tikshana, you will get away with that. Some other day it would have been somebody else, maybe a Shanaka or maybe some other Vikrama. So things would have been different.
Yeah, I mean, I will not say overconfidence because I think Rishabh Pant just carries a certain kind of a flair around him. But these are kind of silly errors that keep happening. And thinking of the third umpire decision, we cannot talk about it. Like when the IPL begins, every other day there is a new problem that happens. So I think the IPL has kind of made us thick-skinned that third umpire decisions can anything can show up. Yep. So Rishabh Pant, I mean, he was playing an ODI after I guess 600 days or something. So I think
200,
we'll have
2.5 years. Yeah.
yeah. So 2.5 years. So I think that's 700 days, 750 days.
Close to 750 days. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think yeah, we can give him a slight benefit of doubt. Like okay,
Now
certain
comes
mistakes.
where I'll disagree. I heard this quite a lot of times yesterday, and I was disagreeing. What's the difference between a T20 format and an ODI format if you're playing after a long time in format? Because he played the World Cup, he played
Yeah.
the T20 series as well. At the end of the day, it's just the format which is different, but still you're playing a white ball cricket. So does it really matter, Utsav? I'm asking.
Mistakes keep happening. I think even if it was KL Rahul in place of Rishabh Pant,
No,
you couldn't
I'm
have
not
done
talking about the mistake as of now. I'm talking about you said that he's playing after 2.5 years in an ODI
yeah.
format. So it
Yeah.
can be spared. I'm not talking about the mistake, but I'm talking about does that count as an excuse?
No, no, definitely not. I think, even if he was on his debut, it would not have counted as an excuse if that is costing us a match. But honestly speaking, that mistake at this situation of the game was not that big, or,
Correct.
it did not cost us the match. Yes, we can talk about it. I think from the next game onwards, he needs to be more aware of the situation and, not get ahead of himself while he's behind the stumps or in front of the stumps. So yeah, he needs to learn, that is for sure. But I think things keep happening on the field, man. I think mistakes happen and you just move on from them.
Absolutely. You just need to move on, and that's the reason why we got 2-0 loss in the series against Sri Lanka. But this is where the most interesting point is 27 wickets have been lost by Team India against spin. I think that's huge, to be honest. Nine each in all the three the T20 ODI matches. Utsav, talk us through India not being able to play spin. If I'm to correct, in the first ODI, it was Shreyas Iyer who got bowled out against the pacer Avishka Fernando.
Hmm.
And in the third ODI, it was similarly against Fernando. It was Shuman Gill who got bowled out. Rest everyone, nine spinners, nine dismissals to spin. And I think it was Vendesar, it was Wallalage. So left
Yeah.
arm off spin once again turning out to be a threat for us.
Yes, definitely. I think India, like, you don't hear very often that Indians are having problems playing spin, but unfortunately, that is the case right now. Like, I understand that people would have the opinion that the conditions were extremely spin friendly and it was very difficult to bat on, but this is not something that has happened today. We have been watching Indian players struggle in front of spin
Yeah,
ever since
absolutely.
a couple of years now.
Yep.
Yeah, I even remember Moeen Ali bagging wickets here.
Yep.
Shoaib Bashir was picking
Shoaib
six, seven.
Bashir,
Tom
Moeen
Hatfield.
Ali, Nathan
Yeah,
Lyon, then you have
exactly.
Todd Murphy. So
Yeah.
many.
Yeah, so Indians have been playing pace better than spin. There is no doubt about it. We need to learn how to play spin, and I think that should be our major concern at the moment, and not playing five all rounders and four other bowlers. We don't want Rohit Sharma to bowl, man. Rohit Sharma bowling will not make a huge difference. I think the things which should be taken care of are not taken care of as of yet, but hopefully in the future they will be.
So do you think Gambhir is looking for materials like Suresh Raina, Yuvraj Singh in the squad?
Yeah, I think he is, which is not necessarily the wrong thing. But my point is that we have taken our eyes off things that we should be looking at, because it is okay. Like if five of our main bowlers are getting hit, the sixth one can help us. But the eighth one, if the eighth one gets to bowl and help us, then I think the situation is pretty much out of hand. I understand Rohit Sharma bowling is a huge asset, but I think if Rohit Sharma, or not Rohit Sharma particularly, but any batsman in the Indian team learns to bat spin better, it is going to help us even more. Shreyas Iyer we used to consider as one of the guys who used to play spin extremely well, but in the last 6, 7, 8 months, I have not seen Shreyas Iyer batting spin really well, or
Absolutely. Yeah.
even being the best among all the Indians. So there is needs to be something. We need to look at things like that. And KL Rahul, I think it is time, man. He needs to step up. I understand Virat Kohli is again going through certain kind of an off patch. But if Virat Kohli is not performing, the other guys needs to perform. Virat
Absolutely.
Kohli
That's a
has scored,
no-brainer, to be honest.
yeah, exactly. Virat Kohli has scored 50 ODI centuries, and I think he is allowed to have 2 or 3 bad ODI games. And if that happens, the other guys needs to step up. I think Akshar Patel stepped up with his batting in one of the games, and yeah, Washington Sundar brings a little sense of confidence. But apart from that, there is nobody. Even Shubman Gill, I would add to that.
Gill, my goodness me, not a single game he performed with the bat. So there are a lot of disappointments to be seen out here, Utsav, but we'll keep on coming one by one. 27 wickets to spin. That's a very, very massive concern. Probably we might see a lot of Indian players, apart from maybe Rohit and Kohli, apart from them, the rest of the players playing a little bit of domestic cricket as well in the recent future. So we'll see a lot of them. But now coming into the right and the wrong, what went wrong and what went right. And we were discussing, and let's take a look into each of the pointers I have taken account. Batting collapses in the middle overs. You said after the power play under the lights, we were struggling despite so many spinners. Hasaranga was there in the first ODI as well. Asalanka himself came and changed the game. So many spinners, and we found it difficult. Plenty of experiments. This is where I want to come to you. I don't remember. Probably it was the first ODI where KL Rahul came to bat at number 7.
Yeah.
What was the reason behind that?
I am not quite sure about that. Probably just try to make a left-right combination by pushing Akshar Patel up the order. Apart from that, nothing else, makes sense about it. But that did not backfire as Akshar Patel really played well. But KL Rahul needs to. I mean, KL Rahul is that kind of a player who you can send anywhere and expect him to score runs because he is he is the Neymar representation of cricket, like the prince who could
I
never
still
become king.
say that he's very, very reliable when it comes to not throwing your wicket away. The technique of KL Rahul is very solid. It's always the strike rate, the acceleration of KL Rahul once you're getting set is the problem, and I would drag a little bit of the 2023 final.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Strike rate is an issue, and he sometimes gets into the rut of just playing dot balls and not even being able to rotate strike, which happened in the 2023 finals again. Yeah, so I think I'm hugely disappointed with the entire middle order, including Virat and Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul as well. I think all three of them needs to understand the responsibilities which they had in the 2023 World Cup, in the league games and even in the semi-finals. I don't know what wrong happened in this one, but again, as long as we are playing in our home conditions, everything seems to be going perfectly. But as soon as we step out of our home, things go southwards. That is what happened in New Zealand and South Africa, and I think even Bangladesh, where Ishan Kishan scored a double hundred and we lost the series. Yeah, so I think we have been losing outside our home quite a lot, and that needs to be a concern,
Yeah.
considering Champions Trophy is just around the corner.
Yeah, it could be a very, very important thing you said. But going into the right section, I think what went right for us, Rohit Sharma's form, I think we need to just keep it aside, let him play the way he goes. Washington Sundar's
Absolutely.
bowling, I think he was a very good inclusion in the side with the ball, with the bat as well for us. But then Rian Parag's debut as well, fielding display by Team India, and effective use of power play. So, what do you talk us through about these, Utsav, to be honest?
Yes, I agree with all the points that you have mentioned here. Rohit Sharma's form has been sublime ever since the 2023 World Cup. He has been playing a certain way throughout. He has carried this thing throughout, and I think he has just failed once. That was against Sri Lanka when he got out to Dilshan Madhushanka in the World Cup.
Yeah,
Apart
he
from that,
got bowled
I
out
think
at Wankade.
yeah, and apart from that, he has been scoring 30, 40, 50, and even more with in a certain way that just lifts the team and puts a little less pressure on the middle order. Yes, I would move on from Rohit Sharma and talk about Washington Sundar's bowling. He has been amazing with the ball and the bat, I would say. Yes, he has found it difficult to get us over the line against Zimbabwe as well. He was standing there but could not finish in the first T20I. Uh, apart from that, he carries a certain kind of confidence around him, and he gives a lot of confidence.
Yep.
Moving on to Riyan Parag, it's that we are still not. I think Gautam Gambhir is still not sure of what is his batting position. He has been batting at number six, I think, in the
Yeah.
T20 format.
Yeah.
And
Exactly in the T20s as well. We saw him playing as a finisher. The
Yeah,
recent
I
game.
think that is where he was struggling at Rajasthan Royals, and you have put him at the same place again. So I don't know if things will work out this time, but I think he finds himself much more confident at number four. But unfortunately, the number three, four position of the Indian team at the moment has been reserved.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, we'll have to think about Riyan Parag's position, because he can be an amazing talent, considering that he is a pretty decent bowler as well, who has performed every single time has gotten the opportunity to do so. Fielding display by Indian team, I think that is a must have at this point of time. You cannot be a sloppy fielder and still
Yep.
expect to win games at this stage of the competition when you are finally the world champions. You need to show the world that you are built different, and make a difference on the field. Effective use of power play with the bat, again, just one side show from Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
Apart from
Exactly.
no one else has been there. Shubman Gill has struggled even with the new ball. So yeah, the last one I will say just 50-50, because the day Rohit Sharma gets out early,
That's a
and
major
Shubman,
major concern. Yep.
yeah, exactly. The way Shubman and Virat have been playing, then I don't think that we'll have a great power play, and they'll start to consolidate the innings even after just one wicket has fallen.
Correct, and that's where the opponents will be right on top, and absolutely agreed. So, right and wrong about what happened in the games we have taken into account. Let's take a look into the players and their individual analysis. Starting with Virat Kohli, 3 matches, 58 runs. Shubman Gill, 3 matches, 57 runs. Shreya Shayyar, 3 matches, 38 runs. I'll come to the rest of the two wicket-keeper batsmen later on, but 3 matches, not even getting an average of 20. Huge, huge concern.
Yeah, massive concern. And I mean, what do you even talk about it? I was looking forward to Shubman Gill's runs a lot, because he has great ODI stats. Yes, most of it has come on the Indian soil, but still, I was looking forward to him even strengthening those numbers, but unfortunately, it just backfired. And I think Shubman Gill has been carrying this thing ever since the IPL.
Yeah.
He is just out of runs at the moment,
Yeah.
and not at all looking confident. All three of them. Neither did Shreyas Iyer give me any confidence whenever he was
Absolutely
batting,
not.
and not even Virat Kohli. You don't associate certain things with him, and watching Virat
I'll be
Kohli.
honest. Apart from Rohit Sharma yesterday, the next
Yeah,
confident batter I saw at the middle was Riyan Parag.
I would agree to that. Uh, yeah, and Virat Kohli, I mean, it kind of felt odd, man. The last time you saw Virat Kohli bat in a bilateral against Sri Lanka, when was it? And it just felt odd that, okay, it just seems that something doesn't belong here. Not that he should not play against Sri Lanka, but it just felt alien to a viewer, and he was struggling
Was it
even there.
turning way too much than the batters expected?
Yes, it was. And even when the pacer was bowling, the ball was coming a lot later to the batsman, and Virat was
But
having
wasn't
problems
it
there as well.
similar to the Asia Cup performance as well, Utsav, where Walla like he took 6 wickets, if I'm not mistaken? Wasn't it
Yes,
similar there?
yes, it was similar, but I think it just it was like 2x or 3x the same thing, because India did have a problem even when we were playing Bangladesh. We lost that match in the Asia Cup. So yeah, we have Colombo again. It is a heavily tossed by a stadium, and when you chase, then it gets a lot difficult to play. Yeah, and but that's not an excuse for a team that considers themselves world champions, but
Correct. Absolutely.
yeah, but still, we can give a
And
little bit of benefit of doubt to our Indian players as well.
correct. And also the two wicket keeper batsmen. Firstly, Rishabh Pant, 1 game, 6 runs. You can talk about that. It's just 1 game.
Both of them,
Got out to an off
yeah.
spinner. But KL Rahul, yes, you can sum it up, please.
Not just KL. I'm even disappointed with the way Rishabh Pant got out. Like, you understand,
Yeah.
the ball has been running a lot. It is not coming onto your bat very well, and the recklessness that he shows while he's batting. Like, I understand this pays off at times when you need it the most. Especially, you can think of Gaba, or you can think of the India Pakistan game in the
Exactly.
T20 World Cup. but still, I think there needs to be certain sense of responsibility that he needs to upheld, and playing, just leaving your crease at that moment was not the most smart thing to do, and that was yeah, that is what I'm just lacking words at this point for Rishabh Pant.
Absolutely. Even I am lacking words because you not just you people were talking about Gabba, then they spoke about what he did in Sydney, then the World Cup against Pakistan. But you need to be consistent to be an Indian player, Indian wicketkeeper batsman. Then why are we comparing you with KL Rahul in terms of a spot? You have been promoted at number 4 ahead of Shreyas Iyer
Right.
just because they had left arm spinners. You had to tackle the left arm spinner. At the end of the day, you got out to a right arm off spinner. Is that acceptable? I don't think so. So that's recklessness. You have one of the best batter in the world at the non-striker's head. Talk to him, bat well. Both Delhi boys bat together and get the good job done. Get us into a good, comfortable position. And instead of that, he got just stumped out, brain fade moment or whatever. He just had a poor day with the bad ball and as well as with the gloves. So that sums up the day. Even the LBW of Mohammad Siraj, where he from the behind, I did not see him getting involved as well. I saw he was
Yeah.
standing behind the stumps. Rohit said that Rishabh is saying it's not out.
Yeah, I mean the way Rishabh Pant bats, I think it will make your team more under pressure than take you out of pressure. Like uh, I just cannot forget the way he got out against South Africa in the World Cup final, and all of a sudden, after a subliminal start from Rohit and Virat, suddenly 2 wickets have fallen, and now you are under pressure, and then Surya tries something and he gets out as well, and now you do not have any other option but to start defending.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, I think more than taking you out of a rut, I think he's going to make the situation worse if he
Yeah.
keeps batting the way he is. And now, considering that he is still kind of in form, like the moment he loses form and starts batting the way he is, he's going to be the first person who will go under pressure. And once Rishabh Pant is under pressure, I don't know how things will go after that.
Exactly. That's a really important point, and that's the reason why we say that he needs to use his brains a lot. But talking about the bowlers who batted, the batters who bowled, to be honest, Shivam Dube, just 1 wicket. He was given opportunities with the ball as well. Just 1 wicket to his name. 34 runs only from 3 matches. Akshar Patel, 3 matches, 79 runs, 4 wickets. I think he was standout. Similarly,
Yeah.
Riyan Parag, I think he impressed us with the ball yesterday.
Yes, Shivam Dube, I would say that Shivam Dube, the bowler, was still pretty decent. I would say he does not get a lot of opportunities. The time he got the opportunity, he was decent. I would say at a pitch which was kind of suiting him. But Shivam Dube, the batsman, need to just step his game up, or just I am still not sure if Shivam Dube is an ODI material. I would still fancy Hardik Pandya in there.
Convinced, to be honest. None of that. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but neither for Team India in T20s as well.
Right. I'm just 50-50 with his T20 spot, but ODI I'm pretty convinced that he does not belong there. Playing long innings, sensible innings, rotating the strike is not something that you associate with Shivam Dube,
Yeah,
and
correct.
in most conditions that you will need to bat in that manner. Yeah,
Absolutely. And talk us through the rest of the bowlers as well. Kuldeep Yadav, we expected him to run right. Mohammad Siraj, the hype was there before the series.
yeah.
Siraj was a Sri Lanka. He will run right. Just 3 wickets to his name. I think yesterday he got a couple. And in the first game, in the first ball, he got a one. So that's what is. Arshdeep Singh was dropped in the final ODI just to add an extra spinner. So the Pacers did not work out. I think understandable. It was not a Pacers condition, but Kuldeep Yadav as well would have add
Yeah,
more
Kuldeep.
damage to his name.
Uh, yeah, Kuldeep was a bit disappointing, I would say. Just looking at the sheer number of wickets that he has taken, like if the pitch is flat and not, does not suit the bowlers, he will still bag more than 4 wickets in 3 matches. But I don't know what just went wrong in this series. Probably they just batted him with a lot more caution. Uh,
Exactly. I think the same as well. They just wanted to play him out and attack the rest of the bowlers. Could be the reason why Mohammad Siraj, Ashdeep, they understandable. The paces were not a good day. But talking
yeah,
about the positives, Utsav, the two players you might just wonder we were not discussing about them. I think Washington, Sundar, and Rohit Sharma were the positives to be taken out from the series loss. Three
absolutely.
matches, 50 runs, strike rate of 72 for someone who is batting against spin in that pressure. Around 6 or 7, he's coming out to bat. 3 wickets, we can economy under 4. I think 5 wickets, I'm sorry, with an economy of under 4. I think he had things under his control, starting with Washington Sundar.
Yeah, Washington Sundar is that player of every generation which is not treated right by by everyone. Not getting opportunities even in his IPL side, even after being a capped player. Not getting enough opportunities even in the blue jersey. But I see him performing, or at least trying to give his best every time he is in there. Like if you praise Rishabh Pant or just carry him in the side just because of that one Gawa knock, there wouldn't have been a Rishabh Pant if Washington Sundar wasn't there, and even Shardul Thakur for that matter. If you're considering the Gaba match, uh, yeah, Washington Sundar absolute all round performance and 50 runs, mostly batting with the tailenders, uh, maintaining a pretty decent strike rate, and he was pretty good, pretty lethal with the ball, and he was one of the few Indian bowlers who looked lethal with the ball in comparison to the Sri Lankan spinners. All
Yeah,
the three, four Sri Lankan spinners look pretty lethal. Asalanka, Vanderse, Velalage, and even
I
Hasaranga
think
in the fourth.
Sundar's height has a little bit of given him the advantage in these conditions as well.
Yes,
Rohit
sure,
Sharma, on the
totally.
other hand, 3 matches, 157 runs. Strike rate doesn't need any introduction as well. But 18 fours, 8 sixes, completely dominated the power play all the 3 matches.
Yeah, like he is playing T10 at the moment. He's just there for 10 overs. He'll just bash the bowlers with just two fielders outside, and that is working out for us. And I think this is a formula that the other teams will also be looking forward to. Just send one guy up there. Just I think
Yeah,
Travis Head is looking at this Rohit Sharma innings and thinking that I can do the same. So yeah, I think this is going to be a thing in the future that one of the openers just goes berserk every single time he comes out to bat in the power play.
absolutely. And I think he should continue his template and we'll see what happens. But the rest of the players need to take responsibility. Always the captain is not responsible for the losses. But at the end of the day, it's India who lost the T20 ODI series to Sri Lanka after 27 years. 2-0 loss. We'll take this learning. We will fight back again. We now have a test series, 42 days gap now break. I think one of the longest breaks we have in the recent past. So it's time for the boys to take a break, come back fresh again. Hopefully, we'll have the series against Bangladesh, maybe not as well because of what the situation is going there. Thank you so much, Utsav. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this video. Let us know what your thoughts in the comment section as well today. Thank you so much, and bye bye.